Ashley, what's up? I can't hear you.
Oh, really?
Ah, I can hear you now. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Well, hello, and welcome to the first episode of Pieces of You, a video podcast of sorts that few know about and probably fewer will ever watch. I am your co-host, Nick Ryan, and joining me is my lovely co-host, Ashley Ryan. We'll definitely get into the details later, but our basic objective here is to document in real time our research into our family history. As second cousins, we share the same set of grandparents, so we share an interesting bond. As I think you'll quickly learn, Ashley has done far more research into our family history than I, but I'm hoping to catch up quickly and learn a thing or two. Ashley, how about you introduce yourself to get us rolling?
Hi. So you said second
Oh,
cousins,
sorry, double cousins. Got it
double
wrong off the bat. Jeez.
cousins. um, Ashley, um, grown, raised Kentucky, just like you. Uh, More time here. didn't didn't go off for school, but and family is really interesting. That's huge, huge,
Hmm.
uh, deeply Catholic,
Yeah,
and farmers
right.
generation after generation after generation. Uh,
Hopefully we find some people that weren't farmers, but
yeah, it'll be interesting. I always think though that it's cool because my brother Ben still farms, so how that as an occupation goes generation after generation,
yeah,
and
definitely.
still is out there. We are gatherers, not hunters.
Yeah, I can attest to that for sure. And I'm Nick Ryan. I also born and raised in E-Town like Ashley. Live in Louisville now with my wife and kids, but make it down to E-Town as much as I can. My parents still live there. Basically, all of most of our families still live there in the Hardin County area, and so that's kind of nice to be close to everyone. I think we kind of have a rough outline of what we want to do with this, but we kind of talked about the first episode or the first few episodes, just tracing back the Ryan name directly. There's a ton of different ways we can do this. And so I think we just need to focus on one thing at a time. Otherwise, we'll never get anything done. Okay, so like I said, you have done so much. And we also agreed that while we're doing this, um, we're going to plan on creating a spreadsheet that's outside of ancestry.com. We both have ancestry.com accounts, but um, sometimes it's easier to distill the information into a spreadsheet. And so we're going to try to basically uh, keep the spreadsheet open while we're doing this. It's just a spreadsheet that we've shared with each other on Google Docs. And the plan is to, for each basically episode or each kind of line of questioning or investigation, to keep the spreadsheet up to date and to document what we think is true. I think Ashley can attest to this too. There's a lot of stuff on ancestry.com that sometimes looks nice and shiny, but it ends up not being like related, like it's not pertinent to your actual
Right.
family history. Some of the stuff on there is incorrect or illegible and stuff like that. So we're going to try to keep track of what we think is actually true on this spreadsheet, and definitely try to highlight things that may not be. So let's pull up the spreadsheet if I can. Okay, I got it. And so I think we can both agree on our own names and date of birth. So we both
Right.
highlighted that there. And then we both also populated um, our parents or our fathers, because we're going to go back just with the Ryan names here. Um, we could probably Probably add some spouses along the way. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that
That would be
works.
that would be fine, I think. Um,
Yeah,
so let me see here.
I just lost my spare monitor. So
Oh, you're rocking two monitors, huh?
I was trying, but not successfully.
Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna pull up. Got the spreadsheet going. I'm gonna pull up Ancestry and go to my tree, our tree, since it's basically the same. I'm gonna pull up Wilbur Thomas Ryan's profile and just make sure that we're agreeing on the details here. Let's see, Wilbur Thomas Ryan, born March 30th, 1930. 330, no, yeah, 330, 1930. Oh, that's kind of easy to remember.
Right.
330, 1930. And then let's see. Let me insert a row. And for, like I said, the three people that actually end up ever watching this, if you want a copy of our spreadsheet, just text or email Ashley or myself, because if you are watching this, you probably have our cell phone numbers. So let's be honest. All right, insert one row above. I'll put in this column, I'll put spouse and then date of birth. Let's see. So Wilbur Thomas should probably, I would say, just do. We got, like I said, we got to keep it somewhat keep show some restraint.
Right.
But what I'm thinking is maybe just date of birth and when they passed away for
Yeah.
this first one.
Right.
Date of birth. What's the shorthand for deceased? Like when you die, date of death.
You can. Oh, I think like DEC.
DEC. That works for me.
Okay.
All right, DEC. All right. So based on this, Wilbur passed away when we were like juniors, right? Juniors in high school.
April of 2001.
Yeah, April 24th.
Right.
April 24th. 4/24, 2001. I remember studying for an anatomy test. I think they let me take it early because I had to go to the I don't know if the funeral or the burial was like during school, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
We were in the middle of um state testing that week.
Mm.
We both were, and it was funny because I remember us talking, we were taking different segments
Oh, yeah.
uh, on different days. Um, and and then his actual funeral, I'll always remember because it was on 42701, and he worked for the post office, and that's the zip code
Oh,
of Elizabeth.
wow. Good call on that. That's interesting
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So then, yeah, he actually died 3 days earlier.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, I think to make this cleaner on this spreadsheet, I'm gonna do this. Put you and me there. Uh, just to get the columns right. All right, then I'll delete this. Delete this column here. Okay, columns deleted. All right, so let's go to spouse. We'll start with Wilbur Thomas. So Grandma Annie,
Right.
right? Anna. You want to
It
do
was,
maiden names?
oh, yeah, I guess that makes more sense to if we ever want to come back and follow her parents or, Macmillan side
Right, right.
would help us
Yeah.
follow that.
We'll say
Yeah.
Anna Elizabeth McMillan. And, auto fit that size. All right, let's see here. So if I click on her profile real quick, March 20th, 32. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
32. Okay. And fit data. Okay, very good. Okay, so I mean, Wilbur Thomas, we lived and breathed it. There's no disputing that he's our grandfather.
Right.
While we're talking about him, I would say that the the time he gave me a camel pool stick.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Interesting
That's
gift. One of
so
the more
cool looking.
Yeah, one of the more interesting gifts I've ever received in my life. A camel pool stick. But didn't he smoke Marlboros? Or did he smoke
Yeah, I think
camels?
you're right. No, he didn't smoke camel.
Okay. Because I remember he would have those plastic bags just filled with
Mhm.
empty cigarette.
Right.
They're not cartons. Cartons are the big ones, right?
Right.
I'm talking
It
about
was just the packs.
the packs. And then so yeah, he must have somebody must have drank. Somebody must have smoked some camels. Maybe they're owned by the same people. Heck, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, feel like he redeemed those at some point and gave me that nice pool stick. So
Mom says, like, I don't know, I guess both grandma and grandpa smoked a lot, but then I think grandma stopped. I
yeah.
don't really remember. I guess I do remember grandpa smoking when we would play poker and stuff. He would step outside. That's actually how I would play poker was I'd play with his money when he was going out to smoke.
Oh, I thought that's going to say you learned how to smoke by playing poker.
No. But I think grandma quit because of her grandbabies. At least that's the impression I have.
I think I've heard the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being in their car and smelling it.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I think about that a lot. I used to ride in their car a lot more than probably most of the grandkids did because we lived right next door to them,
Oh, yeah.
and we would go to church with them. Like, I guess my mom, she had like three babies in 3 years, and
Yeah.
so me and my dad on Sunday mornings in the driveway and getting picked up by my grandparents, and I always listened. Or what's always stuck in my head is like Elton John, like post death of Princess Diana, some like disc he made. That's the like song that I hear thinking of them driving me to church on Sundays. And then you say that smell, and I don't think that they would smoke then, but I guess Papa did.
Yeah.
Um, but now that you say that, I can think of that. That's what that smell was in that car.
Yeah, for sure. And you remember how you like walked in their house and he would always be sitting in that chair kind of in the living room. Like
Mhm.
he'd just be posted up there. But, after working as long as he did and as hard as he did, he deserved it.
Right. Yeah, I remember going over there and making them play school with me. So, like, yeah. go home at the end of the day, you're gonna post up in your chair and have like a chill night. You've worked so long. Instead, your grandkid's coming over. She's gonna
Right.
make you go to school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we move on up, that brings us to, I think we probably have the same one, Charles Benton.
Yeah.
Charles Benton. So since we didn't live this, or when did he die? Let's see,
Yeah. He died. I have him dying in 1962.
62. Yeah. So we both didn't live this.
Right.
um, so here is one where it would be nice to kind of get kind of establish how we're going to, prove what we're putting down. So for example, I guess you could make the argument that if we could find the census records or birth certificate for Wilbur, it would last, or it would show who his father was. Um, and your ancestry probably does the same thing as mine. Right now, if I pull up his profile, it's got the facts listed like in
Right.
chronological order. And then if you click on a certain fact, it'll show you the sources.
Right.
So let's see. One that looks intriguing would be the Kentucky Birth Index. That one just shows date of birth and then his
Okay.
mother's name being Grace French, but that one doesn't necessarily say anything about his father. Let's see if we keep going. If we take a look at the 1940 US Census and
Right.
view that record, that's one that actually has a PDF or a screenshot. Were you able to see that one?
Yes. And
So
1940. You have 1940. I have 30, which is also the year he was
I
born.
saw 30. I just wondered if he was on there yet. I didn't know when the census is done that year. Let me take a look.
I would think that this was interesting that it's like when it shows age, it's like 0 and 6 or
Yeah.
something, like months.
Let's see. All right, yeah, 1930. Yours probably says the same thing. Charles B is the head of the household. Grace, Charles Jr., Bernice, Paul, Joseph, and then Wilbur is the last line 87. And his age is 1/12. Nice. Okay. So I mean, Charles B. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that right there is kind of all the proof you need.
Yeah, my browser is not coming up with the imagery for some reason.
Oh,
But I still have it on like mobile, so I can look here too.
let's see here. Okay. So if you pull up old Charles Benton, says he was born in 1892, January 12th. We're looking to confirm that. Actually, one thing, he died in November 11th, 62.
Right.
So I think the Kentucky death records that go until 63 should include that. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I remember looking at this one at some point in the past because it's actually pretty well written out.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. I was going to ask you. When we look at the census records, is that handwriting a single person who you think was accumulating the data in an office setting, or like for example, somebody had to go door to door back then, right? I mean, that just had to have been the case. Door to
Right.
door, door to door, you get the info. And then do you think they sat down at like their kitchen table and like wrote out the information and then just went to the next address? Or do you think they just kind of like got as much info as they could and then like took it back to the main office? I always wondered that.
I think that the way how detailed is, they had to have sat down and met
Mhm.
with these people to know like what level of grade completion, uh, like ability to read and write,
Yeah.
and how much money they're making,
Right. Yeah.
um, and if they're employed, are they in school, and then well, like when you get really old ones where they determine like if someone is deaf and dumb or something,
Oh,
the kind of like languages that they use to
right.
and how are they able, maybe they are going home. I don't know. How do you make the judgment on something like that about someone's mental capacity without having sat down with
Right.
them? Yeah,
That's
I don't
true.
know.
Because I mean, we can agree that it's probably wasn't like a questionnaire that was mailed to the households and then returned, right? I mean,
Right.
the
Not the
mail
way it
the
looks.
mail existed back then, I would assume.
Yeah.
Let's see, when did U.S. Postal Service start? 1971. Okay, never mind. So,
Yeah.
the
Well, but
well,
it's always been around in some respect maybe, but not
right. Let's
yeah,
see. Oh,
because
yeah. It
yeah.
was the predecessor of the U.S. Postal Service. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it was like 1872. Okay, so yeah, there was a post office, but yeah, I do. I feel like you like. Plus, if let's say the people that live in the household can't read or write, I mean, you're not going to
Right,
send them something in the mail. So,
right. And the more like you think about it through that lens, there's probably like how to be a qualified person to be a census person
mhm.
to with that expectation. And even the penmanship, even though sometimes it's hard to read, I think it's incredible that we're looking at documents that are so old
Yeah,
or that you can still read. Because
right.
if you were counting on what I wrote yesterday and being
Yeah,
able to read it, yeah, it's not legible. I'm not that good. So
yeah. Okay, so I think we can both agree that Charles Benton is definitely Wilbur's father. Um, in terms of date of birth and date of death. Based on that document alone, January 12th, 1892, date of birth. So we're in the 1800s. Date of death, my mom's birthday, 11/11/62. She wasn't born in 62, but she was born in 57, 5 years before that.
that's my dad was born in 62, so he would have been only like 6 months
Six
old
months.
when his grandfather passed away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll have to ask my dad if he would remember him because he would have been like 7. So I don't know. I feel like 7. It could go either way.
Yeah,
Okay. Charles Benton. Who do you have as his father?
I have Martin Ryan.
Martin Ryan. So do I. Okay. So let's see here. How can we prove that is true?
We have the 1900 census should have the 1892 birth because yeah, from 10 years. So
Oh, yeah,
you
you're
would
right. Okay. Ryan Martin, the head. We didn't do, like I said, we could get caught up on this. It would take too long, but we didn't do the wife of Charles Benton, but that's okay. That was
yeah,
Grace or something, wasn't it? Uh,
Grace. French.
Grace French. I'll put it in there. We can do her date of birth and other
Right.
stuff later, but okay, Martin Ryan. Yeah, I agree. The 1900 census shows Ryan Martin or Martin Ryan is the head of the household. Mary is his wife. Charles is a son. Let's see, who was born in 1891.
Well, that should have been 1892.
Oh, this is February. Wasn't it January? Wait, am I looking at the wrong
Yeah,
column here?
January 1892. Oh,
See that type of stuff,
right.
weird. Day
Well,
day labor. Let's see. Let's go to the problem is that the problem is that a later census isn't going to really help us with Martin because he died in '02,
right.
according to this.
Okay.
Wait, so
Birth of Charles' son, February 1891. Weird.
yeah, so wait a second, Charles, Ryan Jr. Gotcha. Yeah, what's weird is that it's not like a lot of time had passed between his birth year and this census. Like you would think they would get it right. It would have been just like 8 years later that they did this census. Um,
Well, the thing, let's see. We could look at might be his death records because a lot of them listed parents.
well, we did already look at Charles Benton's death record because that's the one that it was pretty detailed. It's got the
Yeah,
hemorrhage, cerebral hemorrhage and stuff like that.
right.
We said he died in 62, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so he dies in 62. His birth or his death certificate says that he was born to Martin Ryan and Elizabeth Strader.
Yeah.
But wait a second, Elizabeth Stater.
Right. I think that's one of those weird names that sometimes it's straighter, sometimes it's stater.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Okay, so Martin Elizabeth Stater. I think I lost my train of thought. Oh, we were looking at the 1900 census because we wanted to see who his parents were. But actually, maybe this one's wrong because Charles's mom was didn't we just say it was Stater?
Stater.
Elizabeth? And then this 1900 census says that Martin Ryan is married to Mary C.
Interesting. Okay. Go back.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get into the. I need to get browsers all fixed.
But let me see this. Mary. What was the situation with Mary? Hmm. By the way, 10 minutes left on this.
Oh man.
So let's do this. I guess let's pull up a different source for, we know his father. Okay, we know that Charles Benton's father was Martin because his death certificate said it, clear as day.
Elizabeth Stater, just to clarify, I think also died.
Oh, she dies like in 1895.
Yeah. So
Wait,
it
she dies
could be
oh yeah, she's the one who died in childbirth.
right.
She died. It looks like she had a daughter like on January 23rd of 1895, and that's when she died.
Ugh,
So Martin remarries Mary C.
right.
Mary Catherine Summer. Okay, so yeah, that was in 1899. So in the 1900 census, he's basically lost his first wife.
Right.
He's remarried. 4 years later, he remarries Mary C, and so that's why. Um,
And she don't know. She don't know. She don't know Charles' birthday.
I guess not. I guess not. Poor kid.
He knew it though. He had it
But
right every other.
uh, but question. So if you're looking at Martin, his under his facts, he had a son born 3 years before Charles Benton, James Patrick.
Right.
And so was James Patrick not on that? Is he not on that 1900
He's
census?
not.
Like living with. So that's a good question. Why in 1900 is James Patrick not living with his father, but Charles is? Because James Patrick, again, we haven't confirmed this, but James Patrick lives until 1949, so he's still alive in 1900.
And in 1910,
And
well, I
Betty Matthews. So the daughter that was born um, at the time of his wife Betty Stater's death, she lives until 68. So like, our parents would definitely know her of her, you would think.
right.
So why is she not listed on the 1900 census as living with Martin and Mary C? So maybe out here on the far right, I can kind of add some questions here. So 1895, Betty Stater passes away during childbirth, small question mark. Then in 1899, Martin remarries Mary, said Mary Catherine.
I only have Mary C for her. I didn't have anything else on
Gotcha,
her.
gotcha. I must have at some point went
Right.
down that rabbit hole. So like Mary Catherine is what showed up. Mary Catherine. Say the 1900 census shows Martin living with Mary and Charles Benton, but not his first son. Let's see, James Patrick. Yeah, James Patrick or the daughter Betty Matthews.
And I don't have Betty Matthews. Oh, well, maybe I don't know. I might.
Again, yeah, I mean, at some point I did some research there, I guess. Found Betty Matthews. But yeah, I think she just passed away during childbirth. So, all right. Well, getting close on time here. I think
Yeah. This is really interesting though.
it is. So, did Martin have a death certificate that we could just wrap up with to see? Yeah, I think so. Here, let me take a look because I can put in his James.
Here's your Betty Ryan Matthews.
No, I'm
But
confused.
that's
Martin.
her.
Martin. Oh, oops, I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh, I just found James Pease, Betty Stater, and Martin Ryan. Yeah, that was their kid. James was. My bad. Death. Ooh, let's see which one. I don't have a death record for Martin Ryan. He died in Indiana. Wait, let's see. But this is a death record for his son, James P. I was going to try to confirm his oh, it's like under the find a grave.
Right.
October 61, died October 1861. October 1861, died 8/17/02.
Yeah, I've got this also listed under Indiana deaths 1882-1920.
Hmm.
It doesn't have like a scan or anything, but
Yeah, see what you're saying.
yeah.
The grave thing is a freaking picture of the grave, but oh wait, on the back it's got some more details. No, it doesn't. I don't understand how they got the month out of this. It just has and that says 1903. Okay, I don't know about that. Interesting. Yeah, I think we've got some I think we got some stuff to ask some loved ones just based off of what we did today.
Are you gonna do, it's not this side of the family, but Papa Bill wanting to go out to these graveyards? Uh,
Yeah, I would do that.
he's he's trying to put something together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me look at
Hey, if it cuts us off,
oh,
cheers. Cheers
yeah.
to the first one.
Sweet.
And
Uh,
yeah, we'll do more. I'll text you
yeah.
if we get cut off.
Okay, cool. Yeah, see, we have less than a minute left. Uh, I don't know. My mom had texted us. I thought she had a date for this. So,
I'm gonna put Martin Ryan's date of
October
birth
16th.
and deceased. I'm gonna put that in yellow.
Yeah.
Because could be right, but I don't know. But yeah, I need to ask my dad about this.
That would be this Sunday. Are they going to do that or not?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm. All right.
Interesting. And that is interesting too in less than a minute, but this gets you out of Kentucky, Martin Ryan
True. Yeah.
and Charles Washington. Yeah.
We made it in the 1800s.